Guys, how's it going? Jake Wilson here, and today we're going to be looking at the concept of anticipation. So what do we mean by this? Well, in this context, I'm talking about suggesting the harmony that's coming up before we hear the chord change. Now this can be really powerful, and I think what it's saying to the listener is, hey, I really know where the harmony is going, and you can sort of foreshadow it, and it's a really cool sound. Not only is this a really powerful technique to use in your playing, but it's also really, really good to get into the practice of doing this, because it gets you into the habit of thinking forward in the harmony and gets you into a kind of mindset, if you like, where you're always thinking ahead, and that can be really powerful in and of itself. Even if you're just landing in that new harmony when the chord changes, the idea that you're thinking ahead can help you to get there, if you know what I mean. So getting into a habit of playing in an anticipatory way can help other aspects of your playing too. So to demonstrate this concept, we're going to fall back on the trusty 2-5-1 progression. We're actually going to use a 2-5-1, 5-7 of 2 progression, so we've got a bit more to work with. For those of you that don't do Roman numerals, that's D minor 7, G7, C major 7, which is the 1, and A7. So those two dominant chords, they can be altered and messed around with in various ways. I've kept it pretty ambiguous on the backing track. So it's much easier to hear how the anticipation is working when heard in context. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to explain the sort of theory behind each of the moves. It starts with a basic D minor 7 line and then gets to a G half whole line, which it anticipates pretty strongly with that figure. Then we play the familiar, if you were watching the video from a few weeks back, and then we get to the C, so that resolves. Obviously, this is all resolving early. We then run up a really straightforward C major arpeggio. And then from there, we connect. We anticipate, but we connect the line with where we finished off. So even just landing on that A is looking ahead in a way, but we confirm the move by moving to that figure. And as you can hear, at the end of that phrase, we're already getting into the D minor territory. So that's how the whole thing is put together. Now, on this example, you have a lot of time to put all of this anticipatory information in, but in some tunes, you'll only have maybe 2 eighth notes to get the point across. So you'll have to be extra selective with how you're getting the spirit, if you like, of the next harmony across. And this is quite theoretical at times, but as a kind of lazy shorthand, you can think about it as what is unique to the new harmony that's not in the old harmony. And that will get you pretty far. Of course, notes that are shared between the harmony, as discussed, can be useful as pivot points. But if you don't have a lot of time, that might just sound a bit grey. Of course, there are no hard and fast rules with any of this. And, you know, I just recommend that you explore it as much as possible. I mean, it really depends on the situation that you're in as to how well it's going to work. And of course, ambiguity is a beautiful thing in and of itself. So let's just say, for example, we're going to move from E flat to C major 7, both major 7s. We've got to think, well, what are the shared pitches? Well, the shared pitch, one of them is a C, that's the 6th of the E flat major kind of tonal landscape or harmonic field, whatever phrase you want to use. So that's a shared note, but what's a really different note? Well, the D is shared, but one of the notes that's really different between the two of them is one, well, the E flat's only in the E flat. But let's see, what's the most different one we can use? Well, the B flat is the flat 7. So that could be a good note that we might want to use just to signify a return to the E flat. So one pitch that you might want to look at is the B over the C major. Because that note's not in E flat major 7 sort of harmonic territory, we could comfortably play a line that went. Now, don't feel as though you have to limit yourself to using this technique just in jazz or blues contexts. But anywhere where there's harmonic change, it doesn't have to be crazy harmonic change, but anywhere where there's harmonic change, this is really, really effective when used intelligently. So there's tons and tons of fun that you could be having with all this stuff. And I really recommend you, like I said earlier, just experiment with it as much as you can, because all the time you're doing this, you're just training your brain to be a harmonic machine, looking ahead and kind of getting used to where all these places are on the fretboard. And then if any of this theory stuff is going over your head a little bit, don't worry, I'm going to try to do more videos on some sort of more basic stuff for people who might not have gotten into theory so much. So keep an eye out for that. So I hope you guys enjoyed that, and I really hope you can just take the concept and run with it and experiment with it as much as possible all over different kinds of music and all that kind of thing. It's a really, really powerful idea, at least, to just think ahead in that way. As always, really appreciate any comments, any questions. Subscribe to the channel if this is something you're interested in learning more about. And as always, I've left a link to my JTC products. So these are lesson packages that go into loads and loads of detail about all kinds of issues to do with playing guitar, harmony, technique, different styles. It's all in there. So thanks again, and see you next time. Cheers.